Excuse me. Sending out my shares really quickly, guys. Give me 1 second. I hope all is well with everyone that is in here. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. Today we're going to get started and we're going to be talking about just understanding diabetes and understanding insulin resistance and diving into how you can transform your health completely just by reparenting and reshaping your relationship with food. So, if anyone is dealing with, or you know somebody that's dealing with insulin resistance or diabetes, just struggling to balance their blood sugar overall, this live will be for them. Go ahead and share it for them. If you're watching this later on YouTube, go share that with them as well. But we're going to be talking about balancing versus imbalances and just understanding where you are currently in the space that you are and gathering the realization of how you've gotten to where you are. If you're dealing with insulin resistance, if you're dealing with diabetes, if you're dealing with hormonal imbalances and blood sugar imbalances, because we have to understand the root cause that has brought us here. We have to understand what has led us here in order for us to find a solution, in order for us to correctly reparent those habits so that we can thrive in the solution that we come up with and sustain the lifestyle that we deserve. And so you have to understand first, if you do not know this, food can be and should be used as medicine, right? So there are many different ways that we are harming our body with the cycles that we have when it comes to the habits that we have, and these harm our health. When we are sitting here not breaking free from this terrible cycle of eating these processed foods, and we're not breaking free from the cycle of us just sitting here not realizing the fact that our body should be healing, and if it's not healing, that it's blocked, these two aspects right here are going to lead you down the path of having insulin resistance, developing diabetes, having hormonal imbalances. And society is seeing the fact, they're seeing the repercussions of the habits that they have now, and we're not really making it a national crisis of the fact that we're seeing diabetes and insulin resistance run rampant in our society, in America especially. So we have to break free from the cycle and really truly understand how to heal and start actually implementing healing habits. And so if you are ready to actually start doing that, you're actually to be open to the conversation of a healing with using food as medicine and realizing the fact that you've been lied to, you were in the right place for one, and two, you need to stick to the end of this live, because not only are we going to discuss the issues and getting to the root cause, but we're also going to come to a solution and actually break down what you can start doing for yourself before 2025, what you can start doing for yourself in 2025 all the way through 2026 all the way to 2030, when they're projecting the agenda to be that they're going to make a profit off of you being diabetic, insulin resistant, and obese. Because it's literally a statistic out right now that they're talking about by 2030 they're projecting to make $1 trillion profit off of people being diabetic and insulin resistant or overweight. And so when you look at that statistic and you realize that they know that that's going to happen, they have a projection that it's going to happen, rather, because they don't really know, but they have a projection. Why is that not a national crisis? Why is that not an issue to come together and try to figure out? Too many people are sitting here just doing the same thing, expecting different results, and it's not going to benefit anybody in the long run. So you have to understand breaking down insulin resistance and diabetes specifically, especially in the people of color, because we are the most ones that are suffering from this disease. So first we have to address the fact of how do we get here? Like really sit back and be like, how did we get here? How do we get insulin resistance? How are our hormones imbalanced? How in the world did I develop diabetes? When you realize the fact that diabetes and insulin resistance is on a rise, because there are literally 37 million Americans right now that have either diabetes or insulin resistance, then you sit there and you realize that, okay, obviously it's deeper than just, oh, everybody's just sitting here thinking that, oh, at the end of the day, it runs in my family. No. Everybody has the same terrible habits of not balancing their blood sugar when they start breaking their fast, which is breakfast. You don't realize the fact that the toxic processed sugars that you eat throws off your chemical balance. It's deeper than just, okay, being overweight leads you to having diabetes. You have to understand that sugars, because they're toxic sugars and other toxins store inside of your fat cells. So when you're overweight, combined with the fact that you eat a bunch of crap, that is going to make your body sit there and break itself down. And when it starts to break itself down, that's when you start to develop illnesses. That's when you start to develop diseases and eventually lead yourself to having things like cancer. So when you look about the fact that I think it's around 96 million people. I don't know if this is in the world or in the US. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's in the world. 96 million adults in the world have pre-diabetic symptoms and they go undiagnosed. Why? How? If we know that diabetes is running rampant in our society the way that it is, how in the world are people not realizing pre-diabetic symptoms still to this day? Because it would be one thing maybe if it was in, the 2000s, maybe the 1990s, maybe then it would be like, okay, I can understand why you don't understand pre-diabetic symptoms. But now here we are in 2024, literally walking into 2025, and people still do not know pre-diabetic symptoms. They still do not know the things that lead them up to having diabetes. People still don't know how to stabilize their blood sugar just by using food. That should be a problem, not only in the world, but also in your home. That should be something that you sit back and you go, now, why in the world? Because when you look at the overall statistic, that means out of the 96 million people, if you break that down, out of every 3 people, one of them is diabetic or pre-diabetic. One of them have the symptoms of pre-diabetic or already diabetic. That is an issue. And many of them don't even know that they're at risk when they're pre-diabetic. So it's like you're just sitting there doing the same thing over and over again, going through the same process, and then eventually leading yourself to have diabetes, which also is linked to you developing kidney disease or having kidney disease and then getting diabetes. You sitting there having heart disease or high blood pressure and then getting diabetes. Like, realize that this is connected because the fact that your body is trying to give you warning signs. That's what this is. Your body is sitting there telling you, hey, you've been eating a bunch of crap and spiking your insulin every single day when you eat because you love to go get your biscuit and then go get some McDonald's or whatever else and drink a sugary coffee. And then you sit back and you're like, okay, I developed diabetes. Let me go get my insulin. So you take insulin for years. And then now you sit back and you're trying to figure out how you have high blood pressure. Now you're sitting back and you're trying to figure out, how did I develop IBS? Because you did not deal with the internal issue that you were having, which were toxins. You weren't dealing with the issue that your body is trying to give you warning signs of. That's the reason why you've been fatigued for 20 plus years. You're constantly sitting here filling your stomach and not realizing that you have to provide yourself with the actual correct nutrients that your body's been craving. You have to balance your blood sugar in order for you to not only be able to convert that sugar into energy, but you also have to balance it for your body to not be in an insulin resistant state. Consuming these heavily sugary foods, these processed foods, you sitting here eating all this fast food in restaurants and stuff like that, your body is struggling to not only keep up with the sugar that you're putting inside of there, but naturally produce and use its own insulin that comes from your natural process in your body. So when you're sitting there having a lifestyle diet of you eating all these processed foods and you don't even realize or read the sugars on the back, but you sit there and consume heavily processed sugars, you sit here and eat meat, you eat dairy, you are throwing your body off just by those 3 things right there. And that's not even covering the chemicals that you use in your home, the chemicals that you put on your body because of your body washing, your perfumes and other things that you use. Y'all don't even sit there and worry about the fact that baby powder literally went through a whole lawsuit about them giving reproductive cancer, yet y'all still use baby powder and put it on your intimate parts. You sit there and you emotionally eat, which is driving not only you putting stress on your body internally, because that's not dealing with the stress that you had, reason why you started emotionally eating, or you started emotionally eating because you're sad or you're stressed out or you just feel like that you have to reward yourself, not realizing that that also puts internal stress in your body because you're not giving your body anything it can thrive off of. And it's also making your body build up trauma. So it's really insane that you keep sitting here throwing off your chemical balances over the fact that you really just love your Chips Ahoy. You really just love your Swedish fish. When you can enjoy snacks without poisoning yourself. You can make your own gummies and snacks without poisoning yourself, without having gelatin. You can make your own cookies. You can go buy your own cookies without soy, without all these processed sugars. It's the matter of you knowing how to read your labels and knowing how to make the correct recipes if you want to cook them at home. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. I really appreciate it. So you have to understand that your lack of education on the process of how you can take care of your body and also fill your body with foods that's going to help you, but also give you that response of the the correct response to your cravings. That's what I was looking for. It's making you hold yourself back because you were too busy lacking the education, lacking the recipes. You're lacking the time and effort that you should be putting in to you establishing a new lifestyle. But instead, you give all your energy to diet culture. Instead, you give all your energy to hating everything that's healthy. And instead of you sitting back and realizing that if you want to help yourself heal, you will start educating yourself in the space of how can I add rather than what's going to be lacking. Because too many people focus on what you can't eat. You focus on what you can't do. You focus on what you just can't. That's all that comes out of y'all's mouth. But you don't sit back and realize that, one, your body's a healing vessel and you've been blocking it. So it should be healing. So you sit back and say, well, my body can heal. How? I can make a plant-based recipe. How? I can allow my body to enjoy these cravings but also fuel my body. How? But you're too busy. Oh, I can't eat this if I do this way. I can't eat salads all the time. I don't want to do that. Who's telling you to do that? That's your own negative perception that you've been programmed into by society and you keep feeding into it. It's insanity. It's really crazy. And you don't realize how this food is truly affecting your body, or the lack of nutrients is truly affecting your body. Because really, in reality, when you look at all the crap that you usually eat on a regular basis, because I can guarantee y'all are eating a bunch of crap, it's not healthy. It's not giving you the nutrients that you believe that it's giving you. So all you're doing is fueling your body your body is running on fumes. You're fueling your body with a bunch of crap. So your body's running on fumes every single day. When you are constantly consuming all this crap every single day, your body is struggling. And over time, your cells are going to stop responding as well as they used to. That's the reason why when you get older, all of a sudden now your body's not responding and working the way that it used to be. But you're not realizing it's all because you keep making yourself have to work overtime every single day. So when you sit here and you sit back and you realize the reason why you've been fatigued, the reason why you have IBS, the reason why you're sitting here dealing with all this weight fluctuation and you've been dealing with it for years, you'll sit back and realize it's because you have not given your body anything to actually be fueled off of, but instead you've been running on fumes. And so now your cells are panicking. Now your bloodstream is not working and flowing the way that it needs to be because your kidneys aren't filtering the way that they need to be. Your liver is not functioning at its full capacity. And you're sitting here trying to figure out how in the world you developed IBS because your digestive tract is off, because your gut is not balanced. Like, do you see the full cycle of how your body literally just fought itself all because you sat there and gave yourself inflammatory sugar, a bunch of processed crap, and you're not feeding yourself actual nutrients and fuel? Thank you so much for liking up the live. I see you guys' questions. As soon as I get to a point where we will take questions, if you're still here, I will take your questions. But right now we're trying to hit our points. Let's see. Where was I adding my points? Okay, well, let me see. Since I lost my point, let me see what y'all are saying. I really do want to see what y'all are saying. Let me see. If y'all are still in here, let me scroll all the way back up. It's been a lot of people joining. Excuse me. Hold on, y'all. Okay, maybe I didn't miss one, and I thought I did. Did I miss one? Okay, maybe I didn't miss one. Okay, I thought I missed one, but I guess I didn't. Okay, let me go back up. I saw that one. Oh, I did miss one. There it goes. This has been vegan, plant-based for 9 years. That's absolutely amazing. How has that been for you if you're still in here? I would love to know, like, how has that been? Has that been a good journey? Have you been struggling? For 9 years, I would think that it's been a good process. You said, how do you reverse prediabetes? If you have prediabetes, you should stay tuned to this full live because we will be talking about that all through this live. So this will definitely help you. You said that makes sense. Just don't know how to start. You don't know how to start what? Could you flesh that out a little bit more for me? What do you not? You don't know how to start plant-based, or you don't know how to start healing, or start rather supporting your body in this process of getting away from insulin resistance? Been pescatarian for a year now. Lupus, pre-diabetic, and anemic. It's hard. I had addiction. You have addiction to sugar. A lot of people have an addiction to sugar. The reason why people are so addicted to sugar is because it gives you that dopamine response, and that dopamine response is going to keep you eating it instead of realizing the fact that, okay, you're full, you don't need any more, your body has had way too much sugar. So that's the reason why instead of you being full and you feeling that sensation of, okay, I don't need any more sugar. Instead, you keep consuming more sugar because your body's too busy expelling sugar because it cannot convert it into energy, so it needs to release it. And so then when it's expelling all this sugar, the reason why you go back and forth to the bathroom, if you're going back and forth to the bathroom, or you in the middle of the night you can't get enough rest and you feel like you're up and down, it's because your body's trying to stay alive during the night as well as it's trying to expel all that sugar, and so it's working overtime. So the reason why you sit there and you crave the sugar and you feel addicted so much is because of the dopamine response, and you have that chemical imbalance that your brain tells you, hey, this is enough, I'm done, I'm full, that's good. Instead, you keep eating, and this is how you get in the space of over consuming and emotionally eating that a lot of people don't realize, especially people who have diabetes or pre-diabetes, high blood pressure and things like that. Those kind of stem from people emotionally eating. And from me doing a lot of research and me talking about it in my diabetes Eat to Heal Diabetes book that I literally have, or Eat to Thrive. I forgot exactly what I called it. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, y'all, because I'm trying to be very... TikTok banned me for a week, so we're trying to be very mindful of what we say and how we say it. Eating away diabetes, that's what I put on there, because when you say H-E-A-L on this app, it seems like that they're having an issue with me using that word, so I'm trying to revamp how I say things, so I don't get my account banned, because this is the second warning I've gotten within a month, and I refuse to have my account taken after I've done all this work and had all y'all, especially y'all having, like, being able to talk to y'all and having y'all here. But if you have not followed me on my other socials, go on ahead and do that, just in case they take it away in January, or they take it away from me before then. Who knows? Just have your bases covered. If you're not on my email list, that's a good way for you to have your bases covered, because you'll know where we are when we're going live or wherever else. You said, Lavender said, why is that? Why is what? Lavender, I did not catch that. Thank you guys for the likes. Okay, let me see. I'm scrolling back down. I have to catch up. Okay. Oh, she said definitely. Okay, so yes, you were talking about addiction to the sugar. All right. Norma said plant-based lifestyle. Hold on, Norma. Did I miss something? Let me go back up. Don't know how to start a plant-based lifestyle. Okay, well, if you are ready to start a plant-based lifestyle, one, stick to the end of this live. But if you are needing support far as like being catered to, far as establishing a strategy, getting how I've been successfully in this lifestyle for 4 years now and sustaining that lifestyle and truly making sure that you don't go back, because a lot of people, from the statistics that I was looking at, between the 3 to 6 month mark, a lot of people fail, and then between the 9 to 12 month mark, a lot of people decide that they don't want to do it anymore, not because they failed and they didn't necessarily enjoy it, but rather for the fact that they felt like they had a lack of choices when it came to cooking and recipes and being motivated and being supported in that space. And so a lot of people go back to their old lifestyle, from what I was looking at, and the statistics of people being vegan and staying that way. And so if you really want that help, please DM me, or you can go ahead and book a one-on-one with me and we can talk about that a little bit more. That's up to you. If you would rather just talk a little bit more and chat, if you want to get comfortable in understanding what exactly you get in a one-on-one, DM me. But if not, if you are ready and you know that you want to go plant-based, the link is in my bio. You can go ahead and click that. So let me see. I think I saw one more question before we get back on our points, because like I said, it's been a week, guys, so I'm trying to talk to my people, because they really had us down bad, and Instagram is not it. Okay, I think that was the last question. Was that the last question? Okay, yeah, I think that was the last question. Okay, nope, did I skip something? Hold on, y'all. Okay, back to the points. Thanks for liking up the live. I really appreciate it. Oh, you are so welcome. welcome. Okay, so let's see, where did we leave off? It's like I said, they had me down bad, y'all. I missed talking to y'all. I missed talking to y'all. I was sitting there like for the whole entire week. I was sitting there like, man, if I could only go live. Yesterday, I was really trying to make it work, but I think my live restriction didn't end until like after 3, and I usually don't do lives after 3 o'clock. So I was like, we're just gonna have to let it be. I was thinking about going on live at 6, but it was too late. Okay, so I think we left off at the issues. Okay, so we were talking about cells stopping to respond. Thank you so much for these gifts. So cells stop responding, and that leads you to having insulin resistance, right? So when your cells are no longer being able to replicate and to function the way that they are because they're no longer in the space of being able to thrive and to flow the way that they need to be, this is how you develop insulin resistance. And the reason why is when you have things like sugar, heavily processed sugar coats your cells. It coats your blood cells. And it's really insane when you break it down and you really look at the science behind how sugar really coats not only your blood cells, but it also coats your blood-brain barrier, which causes issues like fatigue. And for your blood cells, you need your blood cells flowing without any issues so that one, you don't develop cancer. Also, you don't develop other issues inside of your body as far as like your gut balance and all these other issues with your kidneys flowing, your liver being able to function. So really sitting there and thinking about the cascade of issues that happen when you do not deal with this. You're not only going to have weight gain and weight fluctuation like a lot of people are dealing with right now, and the fatigue like I talked about, but eventually you're going to lead yourself to having diabetes. And it's all because the sugar has literally coated you. This is the reason why when you see people who have diabetes, they develop issues like they lose their hearing, they lose their eyesight, because literally the sugar starts to calcify and coat all of their parts. So it coats their eardrums, it coats the back of your eyes so you no longer can see because there's no light coming through. That's the reason why they have issues with clotting, so they lose limbs. Like, you really have to break it down and look at the actual science of why in the world are they going down bad the way that they are when you develop diabetes. It's because the sugar has been linked to Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is a form of dementia. When you are consuming all of this crap, you are making yourself slowly lose your mind. So not only are you harming your body's functions, which that means that you're not going to be functioning at full capacity, so you're going to be fatigued, you're going to be having all these issues with your weight, you're going to be having issues with you sitting here being able to be regulated with your mental clarity. You're also going to start developing other issues down the line when it comes to you developing illnesses and diseases, literally losing your mind, sitting here not being able to function unless you have a medication in front of you that you can take. But what happens when they start dropping y'all like flies? Because we had this whole little scare of everybody that was turning around and sitting there thinking that, oh my goodness, they're going to start the anesthesia issue. They're going to start doing all that to everybody and everybody's freaking out. And then they backtracked and they're no longer doing that, right? But that's just literally I'm trying to think of it, a foreshadowing. That's the word I'm thinking of. That's a foreshadow of what's to come. Because they're not just doing that just to be like, oh, we just tried something, they didn't like it, okay, we're not going to do that again. No, they're coming back to say, okay, so they caught on to that very quickly. How can we throw it in there next time without them actually realizing how terrible it is? So next time, they might not necessarily make it broadcasted news, because that was your one warning that they're changing the healthcare system, right? So now they're going to slide it in there, and it's going to be in your policies that y'all don't read into a whole lot because it has 20 plus pages that nobody really wants to read into. So when they're telling you, oh, you're going to get covered for this, you're going to have this, they're going to have this, there's also going to be that fine print that tells you if you are at this point of diabetes, if you're at this point of having high blood pressure, if you're at this point we are no longer going to cover you, if you have to have a fibroid surgery, we're no longer going to cover you. So really sit back and realize that this news that you get of, okay, well, we can manage by this, you taking this prescription, is not a good news. You don't feel good when you get told you have to take a prescription, but you have that mental thought of, okay, well, at least I'm not going to unalive today. But it shouldn't make you feel comforted. It should make you feel panicked, because that's what your body is telling you. When you get to the point where you have a diagnosis, not saying that you have to take that diagnosis and live with it for the rest of your life, but rather when you get a diagnosis, that should be your sign that not only are you internally panicking, but now it's time for you to externally panic. And not panic in a way of like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, go into depression, but panic of, I have to fix this. Think about it how when you have, for a lot of people, because they rely on a relationship and they're Mr. and Mrs. Fix It. Think about when you have that person in your life that you know that is mad at you and you immediately thought, I have to fix it, even if they didn't ask you to. Think about how that energy that you put all towards that. Do you put that energy towards yourself? A lot of people don't. A lot of y'all don't. Y'all will sit there and be Mr. Fix It and Mrs. Fix It for any and everybody else, but do you have that same energy towards yourself? Are you Mrs. Fix It and Mr. Fix It for yourself? Because you get a diagnosis and you sit there and just think, oh, this is my life. This is what I have to deal with. My mom had it, my grandma had it, my great-grandma had it. And you have no mindset of fixing yourself, but you want to fix everybody else. How many of you right now feel stuck in this cycle of unhealthy eating, emotionally eating, or being stuck in a pre-diabetic insulin resistant state? You don't have to drop it in the chat if you don't want to, but if you do, say me with a little hand raise, because I really want to talk about it. Like, I really want to talk about it. How many of y'all are really feeling stuck in this cycle? Like, how many of you are really sitting here stuck in this cycle? Because you don't have to be. And I want you to understand that. I want you to gather the fact that you don't have to be. If you are experiencing something right now as far as like insulin resistance or diabetes, fatigue, you just said fatigue. If you're sitting there dealing with issues with weight fluctuation, I was once there, was dealing with fatigue, weight fluctuation, literally could not get under 190, was going all the way up to 220s. That was as low as I could get. That was the highest I had ever been. And at that point, when I hit 220s, I knew something was wrong. At that point, I knew that this experience was not for me. And I asked the Most High, how in the world did I get here and what did I do? And he showed me plain as day, the foods that you eat, as well as your family members, and the things that you use on your body. And over the time, he really showed me that your body is able to heal and you keep blocking it. And there's no reason for you to keep blocking it. You said dark neck with skin tags. I had both. I have little itty bitty skin tags that runs in my family. It runs in my family as far as the habits that we were having beforehand. It runs in my family. So I just thought like, oh, okay, I'm developing skin tags like the rest of my women, right? I changed my lifestyle and these skin tags stopped growing. That's all I have to say. I was developing skin tags everywhere. Like you can see, you can't really see them on my neck, but I knew something was wrong when they started to migrate down here. That's what made me go, okay, now wait a minute. I had a dark neck when I was overweight. I had a dark neck for years. I just thought that was a part of it. And my cousin was making a joke like, you know, that's a pre-diabetic symptom. And we're kiki-keying as kids thinking that's funny. But now here I am as an adult who has actually helped myself heal from those insulin-resistant pre-diabetic symptoms, and I realized it was not funny. It was showing on my body at the ripe age of, I think, of 10. I don't think I was 13. So I was less than 13 around the age of 10. We're making those jokes, kiki and cracking up like it's funny. It was never funny. And that's the realization that I had to come to. Hi, Toya. How are you doing? You said you have sciatica nerve pain, and a lot of that stems from insulin resistance. You said I'm pre-diabetic and no help from the doctor. I'm fit though and work out. That's what a lot of people think, and I talked about that I think in, I don't know if it was a video or a live. I want to say it was a couple of videos ago that I stitched it, but it might have been a live. A lot of people associate, okay, I work out, I'm healthy. A lot of people immediately think, my body looks good, I'm healthy. I have abs, I'm healthy. But y'all don't realize the fact that that whole programming and training of what healthy is the problem. People think if I eat salmon all the time and I work out heavily and my body looks good, I'm healthy. But you don't realize that when you go and you get those Oreos or Hot Takis, you go to McDonald's, you go to Red Robin's, you sit here and you eat all this inflammatory food. Not saying you eat this every single day, but you eat it and you don't know how to cleanse. You don't know how to use food as your medicine. You don't drink water to break your fast early in the AM. You sit here and you consume a bunch of inflammatory meats. You consume dairy. You consume processed sugar still. Those are still toxins that store inside of you. Yes, working out is going to get you to release through your pores because that's a release pathway, but that's not the only release that you have to have. That's a part of it. And that's what we like to do. We like to take pieces and parts. And that's what I was talking about, I think, a couple of lives ago also, that we like to take bits and pieces and parts of the Bible when people love to refer to the Bible of, well, it tells us in the Bible we can eat meat. It was told that it was sanctified. It was told once Yehoshua HaMashiach came and died for us that all of a sudden now we can eat this meat. We can eat pork. But you don't go back to all the scriptural studies that tell you you're not even supposed to touch dead carcasses, let alone of a pig, let alone eat it. So why did we just skip past that? We're not supposed to be sitting here consuming pigs because they're dirty animals that don't sweat. We're not supposed to be eating meat every single day because it literally tells you in scripture that where is a fatted calf of hatred is a vegetable plate, a plate of vegetables of love. Goodness, I couldn't get it out. So would you rather have, better is a plate of, oh goodness, I can't get it out. Goodness. Better is a plate of vegetables of love rather than a fatted calf of hatred. but nobody quotes that. And they love to quote how Yahushua HaMashiach came and passed away, and they love to quote that because that's in the New Testament, and so that's the New Testament, that's the new law, right? But it also says that in the New Testament, that better is a vegetables a plate rather than a fatted calf of love. Of hatred. I said it backwards again, goodness. Better is a plate full of vegetables than a fatted calf of hatred. That's in scripture, in the New Testament, that people love to quote about the meat. So explain to me how y'all go out here and you go to McDonald's, you go to Burger King, you go to Chick-fil-A, you go to Wendy's, you go to all these different places that these people hate to be at. They don't want to work, they don't want to cook your food, they're slamming your food around, they dropped it on the floor, picked it up, put it on your plate. Is that love? That you love it because you're eating it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like, and y'all know exactly what it is. The next line. No pork, no shellfish, no meat. No meat, period. No seafood, no pork, no beef, none of that. Because this meat is tainted now. This meat is tainted. Regardless of what y'all believe, because somebody quoted a quick quote in the Bible of, oh, this is sanctified now, we can eat this. Look and observe the world, because we're not observing the world enough to realize that everybody's doing the same thing, going down the same path, and not realizing that if you're going to keep doing the same thing, everybody's going to have the same results, regardless of how you get there. Because you love to sit there and talk about, well, I didn't develop diabetes, I don't have diabetes, but you have kidney disease. I don't have diabetes, but you have high blood pressure though. Oh, I don't have all of this different, Alzheimer's doesn't run in my family, but you have high blood pressure, you have kidney disease, you got diabetes, you got all this other stuff going on. It's the same thing, regardless of what they label it. Just like how dementia, Alzheimer's falls under the category of dementia, but there's tons of different dementia. A lot of people don't talk about that because we all know Alzheimer's because that's common. But don't nobody talk about the fact that a stroke also falls in the pattern, in the path of dementia. It's the same thing. It's a categorized part of dementia. Nobody talks about that though. And you know what causes strokes? Kidney disease. You know what causes strokes? You having all this mental fog and fatigue because your literal blood-brain barrier has been passed by parasites. It's been coated and calcified with all of this coated with all of this sugar. This is what they're not going to teach you in school. They're not going to teach you with these nutritionists. They're not going to teach your children. They're not teaching you. This is not what they're teaching you at all. But you can learn if you want it and you go look for it. It's all about how you educate yourself, because if you educate yourself in the same space that made you sick, you're going to stay in that path. That's why I don't believe people that sit there and say, well, I looked at this article and it says that it's not caused by this and you can eat this. But those are the same people that wrote that article that are still poisoning you. So that makes no sense. What you don't understand is food is just more than calories. It's deeper than just how they used to tell us all the time that all fat was bad and the carbs were bad and everything was bad. And then they redid the food pyramid in the My Plate and they changed it. And now all of a sudden you can eat all these different foods that they were telling you beforehand were so bad. It's because everybody is sitting here in this programming and they know that you're going to believe them, because at the end of the day, they're here to help you. That's what they tell you, right? But why are the same people allowed to go back and do a recollection and be like, oh, we lied to you? With the whole Got Milk campaign all the way through whatever, I guess the 80s and the 90s, I don't know how long it was running. But when they started it in the 60s and it was running and it was rampant in the 80s and the 90s, they can come back and be like, we were lying to you. And then nobody is held responsible. Nobody. Because nobody has been charged for that. And still to this day, people want to argue that dairy is a necessity. But they sit there and they came out with multiple articles telling you that they had lied to you because they needed to give these farmers their reparations for them telling them produce all of this milk because we need you to be able to make powdered milk for the people that were at war. So when they came back from the war, now they're sitting there looking at them like, okay, where's my money? And the government's looking at them like, we have no money. The consumers aren't buying. And they're looking at them and they're looking at each other and they're like, well, how do we get money? Because you just told me you were going to pay me $100,000 a year. And that's why I made all this dairy. And so now they're sitting there like, well, how do we get this $100,000 for each of these farmers? Oh, I know. Marketing. This is where you started to get your Got Milk campaign. This is why they started to show in the home that mothers were giving their children milk for strong bones. This is when they started paying doctors for their backing to put on here. Yes, this is doctor approved. Y'all don't do any research, but y'all want to keep arguing with people that tell you you don't need this. So that's why I don't argue. I just let y'all be. If you want to believe that you have to eat for your blood type, believe that. But it's been disproven. If you believe that you have to have dairy, believe that. It's been disproven. If you believe that you have to have meat for protein, believe that. But it's been disproven. Because literally, I've had at least 2 men come to me and I did not argue. I just let them say what they need to say. And then guess what? You're blocked. I don't feel like arguing, nor will I want to. Argue about the fact that if you're trying to build and you want muscle gain, you can't build muscle on a plant-based protein, a plant-based lifestyle. But literally, I think the third strongest man in the world of, I think last year or this year, something, he won third place in the strongman competition, whatever was third place. He was vegan. Third place. So make it make sense how you can't build all the things that you need for you to be a strong man and all these different stuff if you sat there and won the strong man award. I don't argue. That's why I said I have the facts. You have your opinion, and I'm not going to argue with an opinion, because at the end of the day, I'm not here to change your opinion. If you want education, you want facts, if you want tips, you want strategies, you come to me. You ask questions, you get answers. But when you come to me with your mind already made up, ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Thanks for sharing up the live. I really appreciate it. So if you want to make the connection between food helping your body reset itself the way that it should be, if you want to balance your blood sugar, this is what they're not going to teach you. This is what you need to learn. Every single thing that you consume should be used as something for you to be able to not only help your body and fuel your body, but focus on not harming it. Just because you give into a craving does not mean that at the end of the day you have to be toxic. And that's what the misconception really falls into, is that people believe that if I want to treat myself to a snack, I can no longer do that living the lifestyle. And that's not true. Because you, at the end of the day, can treat yourself to a snack, but also not be poisoning yourself with citric acid, titanium dioxide, soy, all this different crap that they keep feeding you. Because even though I'm plant-based, I don't consume soy. And they love to talk about right now. I think it's kind of becoming a hot topic, not necessarily more of a change, but rather an argument in the vegan community about soy. And I want to let you know, soy is a hormone disruptor. I don't care what they want to keep arguing with you about, because that study that came out, I think in the 80s, maybe the 70s, about them talking about how soy does not disrupt you, but instead it brings its own plant hormone and estrogen, and how it doesn't disrupt you. And I've talked about this before. Plant estrogen is different than your body's estrogen. Just because your body recognizes it as a estrogen does not mean it's the correct estrogen you need. So this is going to cause your natural estrogen to raise to fight off the fake estrogen that it doesn't know what to do with. You do not need to be adding fake estrogen into your body on purpose. I'm not saying I don't ever consume soy, but I do that. And I'm going to say this because I want you to understand that everybody has their days. Like Hannah Montana said, everybody makes mistakes, but I don't make mistakes. I make strategic decisions, okay? If I'm a woman, I eat according to my cycle. So I know if I want to eat soy this day, it's not going to harm me for the rest of the month because my estrogen is low. But I'm not sitting here in my most estrogen dominant state deciding, oh, I'm going to eat all this soy. I'm definitely not eating tofu. I don't eat any soy products. The most thing I ever do when I consume soy is when I'm sitting there eating something like it's a cookie or something, and I know that it has a soy in it, but I really haven't had that cookie in like 3, 4, 5 months. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to give myself a little treat, but I'm not going to overdo it. Because y'all eat this every single week. Y'all eat this every single day. Y'all do this consistently and constantly. But this is something that I teach when you work with me in my program, how you can give yourself that little bit of treat without completely throwing off your process. Because too many of y'all don't know how to give yourself that little bit of treat without completely throwing off your process and your balance. And that's that fine line between having healthy habits and understanding a little bit of a treat, and then not having healthy habits but thinking that you know how to help yourself. There's a difference. There's a fine line, but there's a difference. And too many people are on the side of crossing that line of not knowing how to take care of their body, but they swear up and down they know everything because they're too busy focusing on their opinion over facts. And they're so heavily programmed into the society that is scamming you every single day that I'm not here to argue. I'm just going to be like, okay, Bless your heart. And when you come in 2030 and now you're sitting here talking about all the issues that you're having with your gut, with your hormones, with you having pre-diabetic symptoms, bless your heart. Keep that same energy. I'll help you if you want it, but keep that same energy that you had when you were screaming down my throat that you needed soy, when you were screaming down my throat that you have to have meat and dairy. Keep that same energy. And I hope you have that same energy when you come back for help. Like, I hope you have that same energy towards your own health, because I won't have the same energy. I will be kind, I'll be respectful, but I'm not going to sit there and have the same energy and willingness to help you in every aspect until I see that you are ready for change. Because that's a lot of people that come here to complain, they come to tell me all their issues, people DMing me talking about all of this stuff that they have going on, and then I tell them, you can educate yourself and start changing and do it this way. I say, I also have this program, I also have this product or service that's going to support you and walk you through it completely, and then crickets. Or better yet, I love the people who come in here and complain and be like, oh my goodness, all she wants to do is she's trying to take money and all this stuff, and they come in and they troll for 2 seconds and they leave and you never hear from them again. But you're the one that's sitting there coming in here, coming in contact with me, so obviously you're looking for some healing, baby. There ain't no reason that I would come up on your FYP unless you're looking for some help. And there's free education all throughout that's out there that you could help yourself with, but you're not. You're not doing anything with it. And so that's the reason why my prices are my prices. Because it's either you'll do something with this because you know the fact that, yes, I'm not going to spend $30+ on a book and not do anything with it. Or you're going to be one of the dum-dums that sits there and spends all this money and does nothing with it. It's up to you. You can be ignorant if you please. But it's the matter of, what do you want to do? Do you want to release yourself, or you want to be stuck? I'm in the South. I'm in the South. I'm not going to give my location, but I'm in the South. I do, if you're like looking for a one-on-one or working with me, I do online products and services. I don't do anything in person. Eventually, once we get to the point of around 2030, my goal is, which I'm not going to say exactly what I want to do, but my goal is for us to have a bigger foundation in person. I'm not going to say, because like I said, we do what they always say, you keep your stuff under lock, and I'm keeping this under lock because I don't want anybody to try to take my idea, because my idea is going to be chef's kiss. Like, when I tell you chef's kiss, I've been planning and plotting this since like 2021, and this was before I even went plant-based, of things that I wanted to do, and that's one of the things that I want to do, and I feel like by 2030 it's going to happen. So I'm just going to say that if you are ready and willing, you need to start now. That's all I got to say. If you better start now, because you don't want to be left behind. And then when I have this going, all of a sudden now you want me to help you on that space, because I'm going to be on something different. And it's still going to be on the space of plant-based and helping yourself, HEAL, because I don't know if I can say that on here because these people be acting crazy, but that's the point. Peace and love to you too. Hello. I don't know if it's AKU or AKU. I don't know how to say, but hello. Was just about to say that. Yeah, I knew they were just about to say that. I knew. Thanks for liking up the live. Let me see. I missed the comment and went back too fast. They wouldn't even see the move if they weren't sick. They wouldn't be seeing anything. They wouldn't be seeing the live if they weren't sick. Exactly. That's my point. It's like, you wouldn't be in the space of looking for this stuff, because FYPs are built on what you look. So if you're looking for help, and somebody's offering you help, and you have all the free education online that you're not using, but I tell you, I have strategies that will walk you step by step to help you live the lifestyle that I live, and you're looking at me like I'm crazy, honey, you need to look in the mirror. You need to look in the mirror, because you're projecting, and I don't accept it. They come and run out of my lives like flies. Oh yeah, I had one girl. And I'm after this, I'll get back on my point. And I think it's so funny, because I was thinking about it today, but I don't know what her thing was to go check and confirm. But I'm pretty sure, because we had a message going. No, I think she had messaged one of my videos, and I think I went back to go check and see if it was on there. And so I'm pretty sure she blocked me. She came here talking about eating for her blood type, right? In the middle of my live was talking about how she still eats fish, and going on about how eating for your blood type has helped her because she works out and all this stuff, and she's healthy now. And I was just sitting there and I was like, okay, well, let me debunk this really quickly, because we've talked about it, but like, you keep bringing it up, because I said I wanted to see her process. Like, I wanted to know, what does she eat on a regular basis, because at the end of the day, my thought process is, if you're plant-based, you're not going to be eating fish. So what lifestyle do you live? Because I didn't ask if she still ate dairy. She said she still ate fish. I didn't really ask her anything else. I just wanted to see, because she said she was starting lifestyle content, right? Had nothing on her page. I went to her page to follow her because she has two pages. Had nothing on her page. Had nothing talking about like coming, beginning, nothing, right? So at first I was like, okay, well, it doesn't seem like she's trolling. Let me see. She comes back in my live talking about the same thing again. So I was like, okay, let's really debunk this and let's talk about it, right? And so I said it just like I say it every single time. Why do you have to eat for your blood type? If you're eating fruit and vegetables to heal and to flush your system, and everybody can flush and heal their system the same way, because everybody's body functions the same way if you're eating to heal, why do you have to eat for your blood type? And I went on my whole little spiel of let's break this down. And guess who didn't comment anymore? Because I'm pretty sure she blocked me after that. Because I was like, you come in my live asking, and so I answer. You ask, you shall receive. Like, what's funny is we have priceless products. When I tell you that, like, working with me, you're going to get everything that you ask for and some, to say the least, especially with this diabetes cookbook that I have, because it's deeper than just a cookbook. I literally was looking at how many pages I had just alone for the content that is showing you and breaking down what is going on in your body, how you help yourself heal, what has happened, and I'm already at 50 pages. 50 pages. This is not even including the recipes. So that's why when I say that, like, it is worth your money, one, but two, there's no reason for you to be complaining, I mean that. Because I'm not just going to sit here and put something out just to say, oh, I can do this, and oh, I can do this, and not give you product, actual quality product. Because these people out here tell you, oh, get this little script and all this stuff that I gave you for you to be able to do this for live and do this for you to create your own products and all this different stuff. But they're not breaking down the fact that you have to have marketing. You have to understand how to use these things. You have to understand how to appeal to your audience and all this different stuff. But because they don't give you all of the quality that you need for you to actually take that and to thrive off of it. But everything that I give you, from the free content to the paid services to the paid products that I have, you can start literally changing your lifestyle from each aspect of what I give you. And take that and run with it and never work with me again, or continuously buy products. It's up to you. But you will never sit back and say, this didn't help me, it didn't work, I didn't do anything with it. And I can say that heartfelt. I've had plenty of people who have free content that they gave me, and I've used it more than what I did with things that have paid content. I've had people that give me, I've bought into paid content from my amazing coach, and let me tell you, change, life transformation. It's all a matter of the fact that you have to, one, know who you're buying from, understand your goal, and then talk with them if you are not clarified. But if they're not clarifying enough for you, that should be the cue in that they're not going to give you quality. But when you come and you talk to me and I tell you the same thing that I tell you on live, I tell you the same thing and give you more detail of, okay, this is what you can start doing, this is how you can do it, and then I refer you to a product or service and you have a complaint, I'm not for you, baby. Go on. Like, just go on. Like, go on. These blood type people are getting my nerves at this point. At this point, like, go on. You don't want it. Like, stop saying what you want, because you don't want it. You don't. A lot of people are hustlers, so they're putting all of us in the same boat. A lot of people are foolish. That's the problem. It's not the hustlers. The hustlers are not the problem. The problem is people emotionally buy and emotionally eat. That's the problem. People's emotions are regulated, and they don't realize that emotional regulation starts with the things that you put inside of your body as well as on your body. So if you have not only discernment when it comes to the Most High and the Spirit, but you also don't have any regulation with your emotions, so you're sitting there going off, having panic attacks, depression, anxiety, all this different stuff, constantly fighting internally, the hustler's gonna hustle. The hustler's gonna try to finesse. That's what a hustler does. They're gonna try to finesse in every way, shape, or form. It's the matter of, are you a person that they can finesse, or are you a person that has discernment? She said, if I start working with you, will it take months to get my energy back? No, it will not take months for you to get energy back. That's one thing that you should not be suffering through, is when you start actually transforming your lifestyle and establishing healthier habits through food. Energy should be one of the first things that you gain back. Energy and weight balance. Whether you want to gain or you want to lose, those are the first couple of things that you should be seeing off the rip. That's just like how they talk about when you take what is it, sea moss, you should start seeing a difference within, I think it's probably a couple of months. I want to say they said you have to take it a couple of months consistently. It's not the same when you go plant-based, depending on which space you go into. Now, if you're just sitting there and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to wean myself off of this, and then I'm slowly going to wean myself off of this, and you're weaning yourself over a total of like some months, yeah, it's going to take time. But if you, not necessarily having to cut cold turkey, but if you start to understand that, like, okay, dairy's not supporting me, within the next couple of weeks, I'm off of dairy. If next couple of weeks, I'm going to start weaning myself off of meat, you will see a shift in your energy, your skin. You'll start to see a shift in everything. Nothing is going to heal in a short amount of time if you've been eating crap all of your life, but you will see a shift, if that makes sense. There's no quick fix or momentary band-aid, but it will help you start to see changes a lot more than what you have been. Especially if you start using food as your medicine, then we can start incorporating different things that help you get energy, like herbs, or you doing different things outside of supplements and tinctures. Not saying that not supplements, what is it called? Oh goodness, medications and prescriptions. Not saying that you can't take supplements and tinctures, but you have to start using food first. That's what we promote. That's what I do. That's how I helped myself. I stopped taking supplements when I started actually using food as my medicine. I was using supplements in the beginning. I didn't have to do all of that. The only thing that I ever actually still take to this day as a supplement is if I get sick or I feel like I'm getting sick, oregano, oil of oregano, what is it called? Chlorophyll. I was about to say chloroform. Goodness, chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. And like black seed oil. Like those are supplements in a way, but they're not actual like, oh, I'm gonna go get my vitamin and this is a little vitamin pill and I'm gonna pop this and it's gonna give me all the vitamin A, C, and D and I just take this every single day. None of that. We don't do that. We don't need to do that. So we come from a space of eating for your health first, and then it'll help you be able to transform and get your health and get your energy back, if that makes sense. Thank you so much for the likes, guys. Okay, so let's see where we left off. I said that, see, this is why I said I miss talking to y'all. So you lost your energy in 2023 around this time of 2023. I was having issues with energy when I was working my old job. And as I started to assess my issues of not only was I gaining weight again and I was trying to figure out why, and I was lacking energy, one of the things that I was doing a lot because I did not pack lunches was eating a whole lot of carbs. A lot of people don't realize that you have to have a full rainbow of plates of balancing nutrition. And I was eating a whole lot of carbs. I was eating a whole lot of French fries. I was eating a whole lot of bread. I was eating a whole lot of different things that I could eat that I didn't have to pack, that I could go and get fast food with, because I hated meal prepping at the time. Now it is painful, but at the time I really hated it, especially like packing for lunches, because if I'm going to be making some food, I want it to be warm. I don't like heating my food up in a microwave. I don't like heating my food up in a place that I don't know who cleaned it, you know what I mean? So I didn't like using their microwave and things like that. So it gave me the ick all the way around. So I just avoided that situation. And in return, my health was starting to struggle. I realized this was probably like, I think a year or so into the journey. That's why I said that first year was trial and error for me. And I want to help people diminish that trial and error, because I had a lot of that. And the reason why was because I wasn't stabilizing. I had no stabilizing foods throughout the day. So once I realized that, I started to go, which it wasn't that bad, but I had to go further than what I was, because in the beginning I was going like 5-10 minutes down the road. I had to end up going 15-20 minutes down the road and going to these places that were not as close as my job. There were actual vegan spots. As I started to eat from the vegan spots, my body stopped turning on me the way that it was, because I was actually getting a balance of foods again, rather than just focusing on, okay, I have to fill my stomach, let me go in ahead and go get this because I'm going to be hungry in 30 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? And so it's all the matter of fact of like realizing what is balancing you versus what is causing the fatigue, what is causing you to feel sluggish. Because even sometimes still to this day, when I really am like, I'm craving hummus, I have to remind myself, you have to have a stabilizer, because when I'm eating all of this hummus and all I want to do is eat chips with it, that's going to make you feel fatigued. That's just like when you go to Mexican restaurants, and let's say that I was one of those people. I don't know if you're one of those people, but like, let's say you eat before you don't want to eat or something. And like, so you go to a Mexican restaurant, but all you want is chips and salsa. as you keep continuously eating the chips and salsa, how do you feel afterwards? And not saying if you get a little margarita or something, that's different, but you start to feel kind of sleepy, right? You start to feel kind of sluggish. It's because you have no stabilizers in that. Like the tomatoes, yes, okay, obviously that's good. You're getting your tomatoes in there. Also, you're getting that with all the other ingredients in the salsa, but you have no main stabilizers of healthy fats and protein. Also, you're getting that with all the other ingredients in the salsa, but you have no main stabilizers of healthy fats and proteins in order for you to be stabilized. He said, do you let people go live with you on here? I have not. I have not actually. I've thought about it. Maybe that'll be something that we do for like the end of the year kind of thing. I'm thinking about it. I've been thinking about it, but that's so iffy because like I said, like I don't argue with people and let somebody try to get on my platform and try to argue with me. It'll be something, but I have thought about it because I think my amazing niece is in here right now. She is also plant-based, so I have thought about us doing something. I haven't decided when I wanted to do it, but I really did want to do a kind of a collaboration because if she hasn't already gained live access, she should be pretty close to gaining live access. Either way, she doesn't need or have to have her camera on or anything like that, but I did want to do something like that since people that even if they don't have live access can go live on here. But that's just a big like if kind of situation. Her obviously is not an if, but like letting other people in is a big if. Far as wanting to talk about your issue, or not issue but necessarily your concerns right now, if you do want to talk about that and you want to dive deeper so that like maybe you can gauge where you should be, far as if you want to buy this product or service, or if you need help to understand if you need to tap into the program, you can DM me. I always take DMs, and that's why I tell people, that's why I have a lot of people in there telling me stories but don't want any solutions. I open my DMs to everybody. Don't get me wrong, even though I'm sitting here saying and I'm establishing a boundary, that does not mean you can't DM me and get help. That is not what that means. It just means don't come in my DMs complaining and whining about something that you don't want a solution for. That's my end all be all, because you know what I'm gonna say. So it's a matter of, do you want help or not? I'm trying to see where I left off in my points. Hold on, y'all. This is the reason why I have points. You see how I got off on that long tangent. I was like, okay, we'll come back, and then I got lost. Okay. Your body is sitting here screaming that you have inflammation going on. I'm a yapper, okay? I can't help it. Your body's screaming, telling you that you have inflammation going on because you don't have any nutrients. You're eating nutrient dense foods. You're not eating nutrient rich foods, but a whole bunch of dense foods that have no help, just a bunch of empty calories. And your body is sitting here asking and whispering to you, saying, I need leafy greens so I can get my magnesium. I need leafy greens so then I can feel balanced and I can get fiber so I can go to the bathroom. It's telling you, hey, this is how you help your insulin sensitivity. Your body's also saying, okay, I need a stabilizer. So I need something that's going to give me that response that my body says that you have enough sugar. Now it's time for you to start converting it to energy. And a lot of people don't realize this. Cinnamon is a good stabilizer. A lot of y'all don't realize that. Cinnamon is a good stabilizer. A lot of y'all don't use enough cinnamon. Healthy fats are another good way for you to not only, because healthy fats like avocados are going to help you have a slow digestion but make you feel full and to stay full, but also allows you to keep your blood sugar steady. So when you start your day, if you want some toast, instead of you going and getting this inflammatory jelly, slapping it on top of your toast, and now you have a sugary piece of toast, add avocado on top of a piece of toast. If you really want that jelly with toast, have 2 pieces of toast. That's a lot of carbs, but hey, at the end of the day, you're learning. That's the difference. And I want people to understand there's a difference between, okay, I know better, so I need to do better, and I know better, but I'm learning, so let me give myself something that's going to help me stay in this space. Half the toast, if you really have to. Cut that piece of toast in half. Half avocado, half jelly. It's the compromise that helps you get to the space of taking care of your body more than what you're doing. And a lot of people think that cold turkey is what you have to do. I didn't quit cold turkey. I didn't start I told you that whole first year was trial and error for me. You didn't think that I had a struggle in the beginning. You didn't think that I had mess ups. You didn't think that like, oh my goodness, this has eggs in it, because I did. I had times where I flipped something around on accident and I looked and I saw that it had an egg in it. I'm not going to throw my person out there. I'm not going to say who it is, but I had somebody in my life recently who has been plant-based, I think at least 2.5 years, something like that, that I helped her realize what was going on and helped her get into the space as well. Actually accidentally ate something with dairy the other day, and it didn't completely just throw off everything that she did for the past 2 years plus and make her have to reset, but she realized immediately right afterwards. She said, I knew it had dairy in it, and let me tell you why. She said, because as soon as I ate it the next day, I didn't have a stomach ache, nothing was wrong with me, my skin started to break out. That girl used to have chronic breakouts. When I say chronic, she had medication she was taking as well as topical creams that she would put on her face because it was that bad. Her skin is clear now. It's clear as day. Beautiful skin. She had beautiful skin before, but beautiful skin. Glossy, glowy. And you know why? Because dairy was making her so inflamed that it literally was causing her skin to break out in cystic acne. And her body was telling her, that is not what we need. And what do we eat? Because I've known her since we were a child, a whole lot of dairy. She loves jalapeno poppers and things like that. Like, I just love milk. I love cereal. We were both some cheese-loving kids. She loved a meat and cheese tray. Like, we were talking about, like, all the different things that we used to eat as a kid, and we didn't realize how bad it was throwing off our internal systems until now. It's going to be a process. It's going to be a journey. But it's a matter of the fact that what do you want? Because when you keep the goal that you have in mind, it's okay. Good food is natural makeup. Say it again. Say it again. I used to load down on my makeup, okay? Load down on it. Not saying that I was a cake face, but like I beat my face like no other. Like I was like, oh, my face is slayed. It looks so clear. It looks so good. And even with my little bit of acne scars that I still have that show up when the winter time comes, because during the summertime, my skin is clear because, you know, I've gotten a little darker, but during the winter time, they start to show up again to show like all of the acne scars that I've had and that I'm working to get rid of. Thank you so much for the gifts. Hey, Elle. But I want y'all to understand that, like, I was once there. I was a makeup girly. I did all those different things. I thought that I had to wear makeup in order for me to look like I'm going out and I'm doing good. When I had a date after I think a couple of years of me being plant-based, I was like, oh, let me put this makeup on because I'm going to look like I didn't try. And literally, and this is so funny, and I'm going to expose myself. Hold on, guys. I got to put this in there. I'm going to expose myself on this one. That man asked me, you know, he asked me, he said, I'm not saying anything mean, but I just want to know. He said, well, why'd you put makeup on and stuff? Like, if he's like, I've seen you without it. And I was like, well, I thought, you know, I'm dressing up or whatever. And I'm kiki and laughing because I was like, I didn't even have to do all of that. Like, this man was impressed with my bare face. Like, I didn't even have to do all of that. But yeah, here I am sitting here thinking that the way the society programs us, if I don't wear makeup, then he's not going to think that I tried and I'm going to feel bad and, oh, I'm not going to look good and done up. But let me tell you now, I go out just like this. Like, I might throw some lashes on, obviously. I love my lashes. But I go out just like this, bare face. I ain't even got to put no makeup on. I ain't got to put no lipstick on, nothing heavy. And they sitting there complimenting me on my skin. They sitting there talking about how good my skin looks, how beautiful it's glowing. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. But I don't even need all that because you know why? When I look at myself in the mirror, I'm not saying that you can't say it, but I'm saying like I don't even need him to sit there and be like, oh, she looks beautiful without makeup. I don't need none of that. I didn't need him to tell me that. It just cracked me up because I was sitting there thinking after, like before, during, after me putting the makeup on, I was like, I really don't even want to wear this. I was like, I'm so excited to go on a date. Like, I was just like, you know, I want to look good. Like, I want to make sure that like they think that I put effort in too because they're putting effort in to take me out and do all this different stuff. Like that's that balance, right? This man would have been happy if I showed up the way that I was when he asked me out. When he asked me out, I had my hair up in a bun. I was wearing no makeup. Like really, like really breaking down like how I was looking when this man met me. He asked me out and he saw me and he was like, you look beautiful, like kind of situation. But he was like, I just want to know, like, because I was telling him about my lifestyle and everything else. And I was just like, well, I had makeup and, you know, I'm just talking about it. That was a tangent, but it's just so funny to think about because I was just like, that's funny. Like, I was like, it's so funny because I will never do that again. Like, that was my response. It was just like, I would never do this again. I will never. Because I'm perfectly happy with the way that I was. But like in my brain, I'm sitting there thinking based off of what society at the time. I'm just like, society, they don't like when you don't wear makeup as a female. They don't like this. But majority of these girls are out here doing all that to their face. You know why? Because they're inflamed and their body is speaking through their skin. A lot of them can't sit, thanks for the gift, a lot of them can't sit there without a face of makeup without feeling insecure. A lot of them can't sit there without a busted down wig on their face with a full face of makeup and all the body glitter in the world without feeling insecure on a date, in everyday life. And so when I came to that realization that I'm not insecure, and so why am I following down the same pattern? I was like, you know what? I'm not going to poison myself just because other people think that they have to have a woman that puts makeup on because that's the way that you look dressed up. I realized very quickly that not only are the things that you're putting on your body in the beginning of my process, but also the food choices that you make are going to be toxic. So when you sit there and you put all these chemicals on your face because you think that this makeup is something that you have to do for you to be done up, you're not looking at the back of the ingredients, seeing all of that toxic chemicals, and you put this on consistently, and you don't know cleansing when it comes to internal or external, because you don't even know how. And I'm not talking about your facial cleansers. I'm not talking about you going to get CeraVe, because CeraVe I literally, I should have made a video on this because I think I was talking about this like 2 years ago. Y'all love CeraVe so much, heavy down. So do y'all love y'all's Dove, y'all CeraVe. People are washing their face in Dove. They're washing their whole body in CeraVe and Dove. And they're both full of toxic chemicals. Dove has already had their lawsuit, and now CeraVe is having their lawsuit. They're suing CeraVe, y'all's loved face cleanser. Have you ever flipped it around and looked at the back? Because it's full of chemicals. And they even talk about how it's promoted. I don't know exactly what the marketing is, but it's false advertisement. So why do you keep believing these companies? Why do you keep not looking into what you're putting on your skin, in your body, the foods that you eat? Because this is going to impact your physical health, your mental clarity, your energy levels, your longevity in life. I know a lot of people love to say, I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time. But how are you going to be out here for a good time when you're in a hospital bed by 40? You're on 30,000 prescriptions by 40. How is that a good time? If you are ready for something that is designed to not only help you harness the power of food, but use the power of food and be able to reset your body completely with food, my diabetes plant-based guide is going to help you. That book is going to help you, because I don't even really want to call it a cookbook, because it's really eating away diabetes. If you want to help yourself eat away diabetes, it starts with this book. It's breaking down exactly what is going on in your body currently right now, what you've been doing and how you need to stop, what you need to start doing, what nutritional balance you need in between then. And then it gives you a whole bunch of recipes. It's literally your guide into eating away diabetes. So if you are ready for that and you want that for yourself, you're going to tap into that, because right now it's on pre-sale, but that price will not stay. You can get a Klarna Farmer Afterpay, but right now and afterwards. But I'm telling you, if you are already thinking about it, getting it, why not get it right now while it's $35? Because after that $35 price, I'm really debating between either it's going to be $55 or $60. So do you want to pay $35 or do you want to pay $60? Because I'm really thinking about $60. Because like I told you, it's not even completely done. This is why it's at pre-sale, because I still have a little bit of editing to do before I release it. And I'm going to try to release it before the 1st. It's already at 63 pages. 50 something of those is just me breaking it down. I haven't even added in all the recipes. I have all the recipes here, but I have not added them in the cute little format that I have to do. I have to make it cute. That's one thing that you know. If you look at any of the stuff that I create, I have to make it cutesy. I have to make it adorable, okay? And so it takes me a lot of time decorating more than it does actually adding the content. And so I'm just one of those. I like to decorate. I like creating things. And so it's taking me way longer just because I want to create it and make it cute than it is actually adding the content on there, because I already have the recipes. These are recipes that I cook and I use on a regular basis. It's just a matter of the fact that it's just like, oh, I want to add this in here. I'm like, oh, I want to add some design. Or I look at a page and I feel like it's too bare. And so then I sit there and contemplate on that either which way. It's a long story. But if you are ready for that, the link is in my bio, obviously. One thing that I want you to start realizing is you have to be curious about the things that you're eating. You have to be curious about what's in your food. You have to start asking questions. If you're not asking questions, you're not doing right. So You believing in diet culture is you believing in short-term fixes. There is no short-term fix to your health. If you want to truly transform your health, there is no short-term fix. There is no short-term fix. You have to start implementing healthy healing habits. You have to realize that focusing on restriction is going to keep you in the space of hating the lifestyle. Focusing on what you lack will make you hate the lifestyle. But instead, focusing on nutrition, nourishment, the healthy habits, this is how you define your lifestyle in a space of you feeling comfortable, you wanting to keep living this way, and you sharing this lifestyle with future generations if you don't have kids, or if you have kids, as well as the family members that you have here right now on this earth. Making small little swaps far as no longer eating or drinking sodas, sugary snacks, and sugary drinks with full of toxic chemicals in them. Even if it says no sugar added, it still has for high to fructose corn syrup. Starting to understand that if you want to start using herbs or herbal teas or supplements, you have to eat correctly first, or they're not going to be as effective. You're wasting your time and your money sitting there consuming herbals, teas, or herbs in any way, shape, or form of tinctures, teas, supplements, if you're not eating correctly, because they're not going to be potent enough, because they're too busy trying to fight the food that you eat every single day rather than healing like they can be and they will be. Preparing for those days that are hard, prepping for those meals in advance that are convenient, that's going to help you avoid you sitting there consuming all these processed foods and convenient foods and quick fast foods that you can sit there and eat and give yourself a filled moment, but rather than fuel. This is going to prevent you from doing that, rather fueling your body, but you have to prep. Learning how to listen to your body is another thing that you have to understand, because sometimes you're not hungry. Sometimes you're just sitting there emotionally craving. There's a difference. And we break that down in our eating away diabetes as well, because a lot of people eat their emotions and they don't realize that you're not hungry. You're just being a little emotional right now. And it's okay, not knocking your emotions, but you have to sit with those emotions and realize what they are before you sit there and start emotionally eating. Okay, not knocking your emotions, but you have to sit with those emotions and realize what they are before you sit there and start emotionally eating. Because who this spam number is that keeps calling me, but I wish they would stop calling me, because it's definitely a spam number. These habits not only help you be able to build a healthy foundation for you to have a healthy lifestyle that is going to support you, but also is going to allow you, okay, what in the world was all these noises on my phone? But it's also going to help you move towards healing naturally. So this is what my book is doing. It's all of these things that I just listed. It's giving you the tools, it's giving you recipes, it's giving you guidance into taking back control of your health. Eating away the issue that you have of insulin resistance and diabetes. It's your complete guide. So if you are ready to build those habits, if you are ready to make that change, if you are ready to start actually building the healthy version of you with the lifestyle that you deserve, then you will start realizing that diabetes isn't just about blood sugar. It's deeper than that. It's about inflammation. It's about nerve damage. It's about your mental health. It's about you taking care of yourself. Self or not, I said self or not, because chronic high blood pressure is going to lead you to having anxiety if you don't have it already. It's going to lead you to having depression if you don't already. Your brain and your body are directly connected, and that connection is deep. It's all about you making the right choices. So before I end this live and I hop off of here so I can enjoy the last little bit of my Friday and maybe do a couple of more things before I do participate in the Sabbath, I would like for anybody that has any questions, please drop them down below. I will take questions. For the ones that stayed this complete live, who liked it up, thanks for the 5.2k likes. I really appreciate it. Whoever shared all the gifts, I really appreciate you guys for being here. I'm so happy to be back. Was very sad. Happy Sabbath to you too. Happy Sabbath. I do practice every single week. I try to. So this is something that I've been doing for over a year now, and it's been really nice. It's been very nice. So I do practice the Sabbath. So like I said, like I will be offline. So if you are wondering, if you DM me later on and you're wondering why, like, why is she online? It says she's online and she's not responding to me, and you think that's rude. If you were contacting me between sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, I will not be responding. I probably will not respond until midday on Sunday. That's just how it is. This is my time of rest. The Most High gave me time of rest. Even if I'm online, because I'm scrolling, it's TikTok, sometimes I'm scrolling, sometimes I might repost and stuff, but if I'm not responding to you, this is my time of rest. Okay, I'm not ignoring you. I don't want you to feel ignored. I don't want you to feel unheard. I just want you to know the Sabbath is for me, and I enjoy it and I use it. I was enjoying it and I use it. You say you're still getting used to it. It took me some time. It helped me a lot understanding it completely. I do follow Hallelujah Scriptures, is where I got my Hebrew Bible, as well as they do have this amazing book that just came out for holidays, explaining the holidays completely and breaking those down, so you have a book full of the holidays as well as the Sabbath and understanding the Sabbath. So I bought that. It's only like $20 or something like that, I think. And I'm really enjoying it and loving the fact that I bought it, because this year my goal was for me to honor the Hebrew celebrations, and I did not do well with that. I did well for the Passover, and the rest of them I completely forgot about. October, basically October completely slipped my mind. By the end of October, I realized how many holidays I had missed. And so and that was around the time that my book had came. And so right after that, my book came, and I was like, wow. I was like, I've missed all the holidays at the end. So I did good of establishing them, but I didn't honor all of them like I wanted to. So that book, if you are looking for you to understand the holidays, the actual holidays outside of the ones that they teach you that society is following right now, their Hallelujah Scriptures are absolutely amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Their mission is great. You don't have to buy a Bible if you don't have the means or the funds to buy a Bible. They do donate Bibles. You can ask for a donation. It might take longer for you to get it, but they do have donations. When I buy something, I usually donate a little bit more than what I had to, because they don't take actual like payments, but it's rather donation based, because everything's a nonprofit. But they're an amazing company to or really organization to tap into if you are looking to not only support somebody that's actually pushing out the Most High's message, but also doing it in the correct light. That's actually bringing back the old biblical names rather than this indoctrined version that they give you of what is today's society. So I'm not seeing any questions, guys. So I am going to hop off, because like I said, like I'll just keep on yapping, and we've been yapping today. I'm so happy to be back. I'm talking with my people. So we have been yapping today, and I have not drank any water since I've been yapping either. But if you have not followed me and you are here right now, please go ahead and follow me. My live will be posted on YouTube. If you missed this live, the full thing will be posted on YouTube. I post all of my past lives there. That's why I say I have plenty of free content for you to get started. It's all the matter of fact of, if you want this change, you will go and you will seek it and you will find it. The education that you were looking for is out there with the content that I give you, with the products and services that I have. I have plenty of free content. There's plenty of free information out here with these articles that are outside of these food pyramids and the My Plates, even these .gov websites. If you start looking up UK articles, China articles, all these articles that are outside of the US, you'll start to see how different their health system is than ours. And you'll realize that they are programming us to keep poisoning ourselves, and we don't have to be. So I am going to hop off of here. Thank you so much, guys, for all the comments, for all the likes, for the shares. Thank you for the gifts. I really appreciate it. We will be back either Sunday or Monday. I want to say Sunday, so we'll try to be back on Sunday. But if not Sunday, we'll be back on Monday. Enjoy if you celebrate the Sabbath. I will be enjoying my Sabbath, and I hope that you have an amazing weekend. Be safe, everybody.